All right, today we're going to take a look at Beetlejuice Sandworm. The sculpt looks fantastic, pretty cool. And we're going to take a look at the cards and then at some gameplay. All right, here's what the card says. I'm going to just leave it here so you can read through it. But basically, all the Sandworm parts, pieces are considered Sandworm parts. If you added a part to your force, you must add the other parts to the force also. That doesn't mean that they all have to be on the same type of starting line, so they could be added for different point values. The movement piece is what we're going to break down today. When Sandworm head moves, after resolutions, place friendly Sandworm body in a square the head began its move in, then place the Sandworm tail in the square the Sandworm body last occupied. Okay, it's a lot of text, but we're going to break down how that works. The last paragraph we're going to break down in an additional video. If the body's on your force, damage that would be taken by the head after reducers is taken by the body instead. And if the tail is on your force, damage that would be taken by the body after reducers is taken by the tail instead. If all parts are on the force, damage taken by the head will click the tail's dial, protected pulse wave. So as the game state changes, pieces of the Sandworm might not be on the map. So it depends on where those pieces are, what's still left on the map, and that's how the dealing of damage happens. Now, all the pieces of the Sandworm, all the parts have this same trait. Opposing characters 4 or more squares away can't target the Sandworm head, body, or tail. And they are all colossal symbol. This one has 2 starting lines, 100 points and 70 points, and that's the Sandworm head. It has improved movement, destroys blocking, starts with hypersonic, 12 attack, 19 defense, 4 damage. That special attack is Blades, Claws, Fangs. When it uses it, you may roll 2d6 and choose one as the result, and then the special damage power is when the head attacks, opposing characters can't use shape change or super senses. If the head is part of a Ghost Realm theme team, its attack deals penetrate and damage. So hypersonic with 2d6 roll for blades, choose them one as the result, and then penetrate and damage if it's part of that theme team. That's pretty good. Also gets past shape change super senses. All the pieces of the body are also mystics, in case you didn't notice that on the card, so they'll be dealing out that penetrating damage if they get hit. The body is the next one. It has a 100 and a 70 point starting line. It starts, as you see, it has 0 movement. It's going to be the same with the tail. So the way it moves is when the head moves, then those placements is what moves the other parts of the, or places the other parts of the Sandworm. This one has a 10 attack, 21 defense with invincible, and 4 damage on its top line. The special movement power is plasticity. At the beginning of your turn, you may place a friendly character with Sandworm in its name up to 2 squares away from its current square, and that's at the beginning of the turn. At the end of the turn, deal 1 damage to each opposing character, then give those characters an action token, and that's its special damage power. Or actually, it's its special attack power. And then the tail is the last part of the Sandworm. Its special attack power is Precision Strike. At the beginning of your turn, you may place any 2 friendly Sandworm parts into each other's squares, starting with 11 attack, 18 defense, and 3 damage. Inside of its special defense power is Super Senses and Toughness. Now, the pieces have that placement at the beginning of turn and then different movement things, so that's what we're going to break down to help understand how this piece operates. For this example, we're just going to use a shortened map so it fits in the video, but you can apply that movement to its full movement value, but that way we just get an understanding of the mechanics. We're going to also assume that all 3 parts of the Sandworm are on their highest point value, which would be playing them at a total of 300 point team, and Harley is going to be the opponent over there. Keeping in mind that all 3 parts of the Sandworm are colossal, so they'll have giant reach 3 and the automatic breakaway from characters that are 2 sizes smaller, at least 2 sizes smaller. All right, the body has that has that special movement power where at the beginning of my turn, I can place another figure with the sandworm keyword up to 2 squares away. So we're going to have the head move 2 square, or just be placed 2 squares away. Okay, then let's say that the sandworm head is going to hypersonic. Now for this example, even though we could attack from 3 squares out with giant reach, I'm going to show you how this placement could be to your advantage. So let's say that we hypersonic in, and that's a move. So we've triggered the after resolutions placement of the other 2 pieces. But again, that will happen after resolutions of all parts of hypersonic, which is a move, attack, move. So the head goes right next to Harley, makes an attack. Okay, and then we'll just say that it completes its movement over here. Now we have 2 placements that have to resolve. The body then would go into a square where the head started its movement at, and the tail would go into a square where the body was previously at. And then the second movement, the head started its movement from there next to Harley, so the body would go there and the tail would go where the body was just at. Now that body piece is the one with the high defense and the plasticity, and remember, if they're dealing damage to the body, it's going to go to the tail after that invincible reducer happens. So that's an easy way to get your body next to the figure that you want it next to. Since those were placements, then the body could go ahead and make an attack on Harley. Now at the beginning of your next turn, just as an example, if you had no other actions, let's say the turn goes, opponent makes their attacks. Okay, so we have the same setup next turn. Beginning of turn, the tail can place 2 sandworm parts in each other's squares. So that tail has an 11 attack. We might want to go ahead and do beginning of turn, place it like that. So we're swapping the body and the tail. The tail can then go ahead and make an attack on Harley. And then the head can go ahead and hypersonic again against whatever figures are left. But for this example, we'll say Harley. So it hypersonics in, makes an attack. And then let's just say it finishes its movement over here. And that then triggers the body to go where the head started, the tail to go where the body was at. And then the second movement started here. So the body will go there and the tail will go here. And then you have the body next to the opponent again. Okay, so pretty and then again, that was all placement. So then the body could go ahead and make another attack. A unique mechanic for Heroclix will take probably some practice to get used to how it moves around the board and how to use it to the best advantage for your team. But hopefully this video helped you with a quick understanding of how that movement and walls of text actually play out on the map.